This is an example of the infamous Roland TR-808. It came out about 1980, 1983. Cost of about $1,000 according to Wikipedia, which is maybe $3,000 in today's money, $3,300. So it was probably a pretty big deal when it first came out. Planet Rock by Africa Bambaataa used this machine. Also Soul Sonic Force, Sexual Healing, Marvin Gaye. So it's still a pretty popular sound. You hear it right now in trap music a lot with the 808 drums, the hi-hats, the kicks. It's been brought back. After the 808, they came up with the 809, the TR-909. So it's a pretty famous drum machine and famous classic piece of equipment, as only Roland can do. Roland has a lot of keyboards and drum machines going back through the ages and unique sounds that are really classic sounds and classic machines, and they're still either being used today or emulations of the sounds created by those machines are still being used today. So let's get into the, you can want to call it the TR record section of the Roland Fantom, or you can say it's like a TR-808, where I think Roland's pretty much attempting to get you to have that drum machine feel along with the keyboard, sort of like a mixing the TR-808 with new additional sounds, but that type of drum machine program along with the full-size keyboard. So let's see how it goes. Okay, right now we're going to record in the TR record mode. The TR record mode is a simulation of the Roland classic drum machines like the TR-808. And what it does is it gives you the option of pushing these pads 1 through 16. And I'll give you a full shot in a second. And you can use that in the record function. So you can just hit each note according to the lineup of the grid in the music. And you can choose the resolution and the velocity also from inside the keyboard. So I'm going to give you an option here to take a look. Right now you can see the 1 through 16 pads. Okay, right here, hit record. See the record function? And I'll show you this in a moment. You hit TR record right here. And record TR function brings up the grid. I'll give you a quick snapshot in a second. But this is the grid. You can choose 1 through 16 depending on the resolution. If you have 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4, 8. These pads will line up according to the grid and the resolution that you set up. Now, the other option to getting into TR record mode is just push the TR record button. You jump there real quick no matter what you're doing. Let's exit out of this. Another option you can do is once you hit the TR record mode, you can select your instruments again by going through the screen. So let's jump back over to the screen. Let's get an in-depth look at the screen and your overview right there and how you can change the sounds, and then you will record just a basic drum pad, because not many keyboards come with a sort of built-in drum machine type pad like a classic drum machine like the TR-808. Okay, let's see how you can get again to the drum machine right from here. You push record button like I showed you earlier, or the TR record button. Boom. I don't want to use a click because we're in TR grid mode, or I'm going to select TR grid mode. So you're going to be slotting right up, lined up with a grid. So I don't need a click in the TR record mode. But before we go to TR record mode, let's get a little bit closer. And you can't see here, but it's A through H. It's just the way the screen is and the reflection of the camera. But I'm going to select the track, and I'm going to select track 1. Track 1 is going to be piano. And right up here is going to be 8. 8 is drums. So 1 through 8. Of course, you have 16 track view. You push 16 track view button here and you get all 16 tracks. The only difference is you don't actually see the little instrument on top just because of screen size. So let's go back to 8-track view. I'm going to use just a standard drum kit that's right there right now. So I'm going to hit TR record because I've selected the first group A, and that's going to be my first pattern of the 8th track where the drums are laid out. All right, let's get a little bit closer. You see we have the crash, the hi-hats, so on and so on, and you get a nice look at the grid. Let's back out a little bit. Get some light on there, and you see, you just typical drum machine, and you see the grid lined up. That's why we didn't really need a click track. Now let's get a little bit closer. Right here we have the scale. Let's get to the right. What the scale does is it shows you basically if you're going to be 1/24 triplets, 1/12s, 1/32. It's going to show you how the grid lines up. 1/16s. We're going to stay in 1/16s. I'm used to that. And the length, this is going to be 1 bar. If you want 2 bars, just move the length to the right. You can go all the way up to 32 bars. Which means this yellow part right here is actually 1 bar and is equivalent to all this. So you can have all this information in just one little grid right here. So let's go back to 1 bar. Let's go back to actually 4. So you have 1 bar and you can actually push through and select. I'm trying to do this nice as possible. My finger's a little fatty. Boom. So you can actually go through 1, 2, 3, 4 and select whatever amount of bars you want. Let's get back to 1 bar. Another thing you can do is move the screen up and down, and you can select, or you can select through pressing on the keyboard. Let's back this out a little bit. Now you see as I press a note on the keyboard, the grid changes, and it changes and moves to according to the 88 keys or 66 keys or however many keys your keyboard has, and it shows you which instrument you're actually playing. Velocity is real velocity. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to go right to 100 so you can hear everything. 127, of course, is MIDI, so that's max. Let's keep it at 100. Let's get a closer look here and show you. All right, we're going to get a shot now of the pads and the screen side by side. All right, we're in TR record mode. And how this works is you can push a note on the key. This is not normally a bass drum, but I'm going to play something you can hear. And you're just going to hold that note down and push whatever grid you want. And you see right here, everything is just lining up in the velocity of 104. Now, if you want to hear what you're playing, you can just push play. You want to stop, you can stop. What a lot of people like doing with drum machines is you keep the play button going so you can hear everything. If you play something and it's not what you want to play, you let go of the note and you can hit the same note, the same pad you just played, and it'll turn it off. So you push and hold, play. For on, to take that off, you let go, and you hit that pad again. So let's get something lined up a little bit better here. Every other note. Now when you select a new note, which what I'm doing is I'm selecting a bass drum, all these notes are going to go away. Now, if you come back and select, this is a D flat above middle C, you're going to see all the notes lit. So depending on which note you're playing or which key you want to play, It's where you're going to see everything lit up. So let's get a drum bass going. It's going to be real simple. You just got to figure out where the notes get played. So every 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad. Kind of like that, Tom, and I'll leave it right there. Now, if you want to change instruments, I think you can just hit back and you can just select, let's say, a choir. I'm going to track 4 right now, and you can go right back to TR record mode, hit play. The drum is right there. Now let's get some. Now here's the deal. When using instruments with a TR record drum mode, you're basically just going to be putting in a MIDI note. It won't necessarily have all the expression and all that stuff that you want if you're, let's say, playing, but it'll still be there. You can also program that in with the gate and the velocity and see how it sounds if you like it or not. That's great if you want to do, let's say, house or EDM and like staccato type stuff where things just being hit over and over again. And it's just like an arpeggio. You can do that sort of thing where you play one note and play an arpeggio and play it through the grid, and I'll do that in a second. But let's do the record and TR mode for pad. So you're not really hearing anything because when you play the pad, you need to be able to hold the pad and the MIDI isn't being held long enough. So you would have to actually change the gate time and change the MIDI note time so that it'll play out for the entire selection. Piano will work better with this. So what you can do is go back and you're still in track 4. And what I'm going to do, select a different instrument in track 4. Let's go to piano. You hear that now. Go back to tone list. And you can hit TR mode, and you can go back into TR. So you hear that. The piano sounds better, the pad didn't, because the pad needs to be held out. So you would have to put that time in. So that's not the best function of the TR record mode. So let's get some arpeggios going and use the TR record mode for different notes in the arpeggios. That was an electric piano. Let's actually select a piano. What I'm doing right now is I'm using the slider function to the left to bring the volume and to mix a little bit. So I'm mixing the drums down and I brought the piano up so I can hear it. Okay. I'm going C, E, G, C. Let's try something higher, a little. So what I did basically is I just created a little arpeggio of my own. I played C, E, G, and you can place them wherever you want on the grid. So the options you have with this keyboard to use in regular sequence mode or like a drum machine, and you can actually pull up some 808s on this, the classic Roland 808s that are in here, and you can have that sound and get that classic drum machine sound. Also, there are user sets, and you can also pull in your own sounds in here. I'm sure you can pull up a couple samples and lay the keyboard out in the samples, or use that sample grid over there and use this keyboard sort of like a hip-hop drum machine from the 80s or 90s and pull out some classic tracks and classic beats. Or I can see using the arpeggio function or using your own arpeggio function with the different steps and making your own arpeggios and having it sort of be like an EDM or house thing. So that's a couple great options you can do in this keyboard. And this, to me, is one of the most natural and fun ways to create a beat or a track, because if you're not a natural drummer like I am, I'm a piano player, so everything has a habit to sound like a piano, and I'll end up programming drums like I'm playing the piano, which may not sound great all the time. Something like this, where you can lay a quick groove if you're not really groove inclined by just pushing a button and messing with the grid resolution and come out with something nice. This is okay, it's decent, but like I said, if you're groove inclined, this is sort of like a Roland groove box built into the top of the line keyboard. So it's a great way to lay out something quick and you can record and play over it. Let's pull up a piano real quick and see what we can do. So I had to stop. Now let's get back in regular record mode, right? Let's get that click on. And that's the beginning. Play a couple chords over your groove. I'm not sure if this says quantized or not. I'll go back and check the video. Simple. And now as you have that, you can come back in. Let's get a nice little pad going. Let's get a Juno sound. I'm on track 3 right now. Got a little Juno pad going here. hit mute, I'm going to mute track 1 and 2. I don't remember chords I played, but let's see what happens. Let's get that Juno going. So it's that easy. That Juno pad is a string. It's looks like it's 155 and it's building. So I play and it's going to build and sweep over that entire measure, over those 4 bars. Thanks for watching that video on the new Roland Fantom 8 TR record function. If you have any questions, leave a comment. We'll get to it. If you need any information on any of the features in the keyboard that we do a video on, let us know. We'll try and get to it. So comment, like, subscribe. We're going to make another video next week with another feature of the keyboard. We're going to put all this together and start making music and using Logic. I prefer Logic, but you can also use MainStage and use the keyboard as also an interface and a plugin inside of Logic. So we're going to get to that in the next couple of videos. See you next time.